Look at this. Apple's down 8%, Nvidia's down 7%, Google is down 3%, Meta is down 7%, Microsoft is down 7%, Tesla is down 6%. Across the board, the S&P 500 is down a whopping 4%. But for us, ladies and gentlemen, we were praying for this day. We wanted the markets to head downwards. The S&P 500 has been down since the beginning of the year. We've been down a whopping 11%. This was exactly what we anticipated. We wanted prices to head downwards because, my friend, Powell needs to realize that he must bend the knee. Bitcoin is doing much better than the S&P 500. My target still stands. This is a shoulder, a head, and another shoulder. If you compare the two, the S&P 500 and Bitcoin, you'll realize that the S&P 500 is faring worse. It's doing worse than Bitcoin. Bitcoin has formed a higher low, whereas the S&P 500 has formed a lower low. I'm just telling you the brutal, honest truth. Now, majority of influencers are saying that Bitcoin is heading far, far lower. There's massive sell pressure happening across the globe. However, Bitcoin still is faring better than the rest. My target still stands, and we're heading to 94,000 US dollars. That hasn't changed. My invalidation point is right over here. Once Bitcoin breaks this area, then of course we are heading lower. As of now, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin is actually faring better than the S&P 500. It's doing better than the Magnificent 7. As you can see, Microsoft is down, Apple is down, Nvidia is down. The Magnificent 7 are no longer the Magnificent 7. This is the Russell 2000 index, and it's red across the board. The Russell 2000 has 2,000 companies ranging between 250 million to 10 billion market cap. It's sniffing out weakness in the economy, just like the Russell 2000. Ethereum has hundreds, maybe thousands upon thousands of different protocols that use the Ethereum chain. The Russell 2000 is sniffing out weakness in the economy. It's gone down 22%. If I overlay Ethereum, you'll see a massive correlation between the two. Ethereum and the Russell 2000 move in tangent. Whenever the Russell goes downwards, so does Ethereum. Both the Russell and Ethereum are sniffing out weakness in the economy. We are here, folks. It's liberation day is amongst us. Now we finally have some clarity in the market. We know where we're heading now. Trump is making America great again. Please give me a green card. Someone, give me a green card.
If you look at that, China, first row, China, 67%. That's tariffs charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So 67%, I think you can, for the most part, see it. Those with good eyes, with bad eyes. We didn't want to bring, it's very windy out here. We didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think, in other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset? They will be, because we never charge anybody anything. But now we're going to charge. European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders. You know, you think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. 39%, we're going to charge them 20%, so we're charging them essentially half. Vietnam, great negotiators, great people. They like me, I like them. The problem is they charge us 90%. We're going to charge them 46% tariff. Taiwan, where they took all of our computer chips and semiconductors. We used to be the king, right? We were everything. We had all of it. Now we have almost none of it, except the biggest company is coming in. We're going to end up with almost 40%. Lee Zeldin's working to get their approvals. And it's an amazing company. Mr. Wei, of one of the great companies of the world, actually. They're coming in from Taiwan, and they're going to build one of the biggest plants in the world, maybe the biggest for that. But 64%, we're going to charge them 32%. Japan, very, very tough. Great people. And again, I don't blame the people for doing it. I think they're very smart in doing it. I blame the people that sat right in that Oval Office, right over there, right behind the Resolute desk or whichever desk they chose. Japan, 46%. They would charge us 46%, and much higher for certain items like cars, little items like cars. 46%, we're charging them 24%. India, very, very tough, very, very tough. The Prime Minister just left, and he's a great friend of mine, but I said, you're a friend of mine, but you're not treating us right. They charge us 52%. You have to understand, we charge them almost nothing for years and years and decades. And it was only 7 years ago when I came in, we started with China charging. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China in tariffs. And they understood, honestly. presidency understood. He said, look, I understand. And the other countries, and they all understand. We're going to have to go through a little tough love, maybe, but they all understand. They're ripping us off, and they understood it. Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe. He was a fantastic. I think you better take it with you. It's not going to last very long. He's going to put it, it's going to follow you down with the wind. I brought a hat just in case it got too windy, but here, would anybody like a hat? I'm not giving it to a cabinet. I'm giving it to the auto workers. Come here.
Give me a hat. Give me a hat. Give me a hat.
Thank you, fellas. Get it. That's it. That's it.
This is the Fed Watch Tour. We've got 35 days until the next FOMC meeting, and this moves on a dime. Yesterday, I saw it at 88%. Today, it's at 74%. The consensus is that there's a 72% chance of the Fed not cutting. There's a 27% chance that the Fed will actually cut in May, the next FOMC meeting. But more interestingly, in June, there is a 61% chance of them actually cutting. More importantly, in September, there is a 44% chance of interest rates getting between 3.75 and 3.5%. And then finally, we have a 28% chance of them cutting in October. I speak about these macro numbers because it is tied to your altcoins. Believe it or not, this is correlated to your altcoins. Altcoins are fundamentally a risk on asset. I haven't spoken about fundamentals in quite some time. In economics, what normally happens is when the market is risky, when the market is scary, what participants normally do, they move away from stocks and traditional markets and they buy bonds. It's very, very interesting that since Donald Trump has been president, the 10-year yield has gone down. It's gone down massively, 16%. 16%. Donald Trump really wants interest rates to go lower because there's a massive debt ceiling and the payment is a whopping $7 trillion US. I repeat, $7 trillion US that must be paid back. If there's more demand for bonds and treasuries, then what happens to yield? Yield goes downwards. Supply and demand. Get it? This is the crypto bubble index. No surprise here. Like we predicted, altcoins are going to continue to bleed. They're going to continue to go down. Most altcoins are at major support. Matter of fact, they've broken support. I'll show you. Jupiter, no surprise here. I did tell you on this channel, you heard it first. It will break support. Guys, I say this stuff not to hurt your feelings. I say this just to help you find better prices. You don't always have to buy the dips. I'm in the same team as you. But guys, I know you want to watch my stuff just to reaffirm your own bias. I'm not here for that. I'm here to tell you the sweet and ugly truth. Sometimes it's better to be risk off than risk on. This period, like I've been saying for a long time on my channel, is a period to be risk off. TIA is about to break support right over here. It's kissing this support line. It's going to head lower. It's already gone down 98%. It's most definitely going to drop another 90%. If you think your altcoins can't go lower, ladies and gentlemen, let me just remind you how far it can go. It can go another further 50% and you'll still not be down 100%. You do the math. Tau is kissing its support. It's going to break down most likely. It bounced here. It didn't reach its support level right here. And finally, we will break down. Now, I'm saying this to help you find lower prices. You will, ladies and gentlemen, find lower prices. Just be patient. Dimension has already made new all-time lows. It's broken this support line right over here. We're heading far lower. Just like I said regarding Matic, Sand is very close of breaking it. It's actually doing relatively well. I did mention to my private members, get into stable coins, get into real world assets, get into coins that actually generate revenue and profits. Likewise, ENS is outperforming majority of some of these shit coins. Some of these altcoins are going to bleed profusely. They're going to head downwards. Now, majority of you haven't seen a bear market. A bear market is terrible. If you think this is bad, there is no volatility, zero volatility. I'm here to help you navigate through this space. I wish I had someone that showed and helped me during this whole journey. Majority of altcoins is marketing, is actual marketing. And to navigate through this space, I wish I had someone like me to tell them the actual truth. Now, I know most of you watch me because you want to confirm your own bias. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to help you gain an understanding, a better understanding, and along the way make profits. We have Arweave and it's forming a new lower low. It's forming a fresh low for the year. It's been down for the entire 2.5 years. There are many altcoins that are underperforming. And I told you this a long time ago. It's got nothing to do with the fundamentals or the protocol. It's just because we are in a period of risk off. We have XRP, and I've screamed this. I've screamed this to the hilltops, and I've told folks to get out of XRP. For the love of God, sell. Sell. I'm going to be shorting into this weakness. You have to sell. You have to sell. Next target is at $1.42, and the next is at 50 cents. Dominance is heading to 64. That's not a surprise to me. That's really not a surprise. But the biggest ultimate surprise is going to be at 62. Ladies and gentlemen, every single altcoin bull, every single crypto investor has to have a group meeting. They have to have a group meeting. We have to all sit down and figure out what on earth went wrong. we have to figure out what went wrong this cycle, because clearly if it heads to 72, altcoins are going to be decimated. The good news is I'm going to give you great entry prices, fantastic entry prices. And finally, I'm going to end with this. My target still stands. Bitcoin is heading to 94. It hasn't changed. The chart is telling me something different. This time investors are flocking to Bitcoin as a safety hedge. Maybe this time coin could be seen as digital gold. The charts are telling me something's brewing, something's changing about Bitcoin. Institutions are buying at these relative lows. However, tech stocks are crashing. There is a disparity between the two. But maybe, just maybe, Bitcoin will form a higher high. Altcoins are going to continue to see a little bit more pain. This is near the end. We're at the very end for altcoins. Just be patient. If you're here and you're watching this, you are one of the rare breeds that is about to make some exceptional gains. So be patient. Our time in altcoins is coming. For now, get into safety plays. Bitcoin is heading to 94,000. That's it for now. Make sure to like, subscribe, and join our private members. Guys, it takes a lot of effort to make these videos. All you can do is press that like button. Just press that like button. Peace.